Hello, it's Bryce here. Before we hop into today's episode, a gentle reminder that the Squiz Kids annual survey is live, and we'd really love your feedback. The info we gather helps us to make Squiz Kids better for you and your kids. So, whether you're a parent or carer or teacher, hop on into the link in today's episode notes or use the link on our website for your chance to go into the draw to win a $250 gift voucher. Because we like to give.
This is a Squiz Kids podcast. Your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you.
They started as the British Empire Games. Para-athletes compete alongside the rest of the field, and Australia has won more gold medals here than any other nation. This is your Squiz Kids Shortcut to the 2026 Commonwealth Games, the podcast where we explore the who, what, when, where, why and how of the wonderful world around us. I'm Christie Kijurina.
And I'm Bryce Corbett.
Hey, Bryce! Can't help noticing the new tracksuit. Where did that come from?
Christie, please. This is my official team uniform.
Ooh, your official team uniform?
Yep, I'm entering the Commonwealth Games.
But Bryce, you can't just enter the Commonwealth Games, can you?
Well, why not? 74 teams are competing. Surely there's room for one more.
But Bryce, you're not a team.
Fine, I'm representing Squiz Kids.
But also not a country.
Okay, what about the Independent Republic of Bryce?
Oh, definitely not a country.
Well, that's awkward.
Why?
Because I made you a tracksuit too.
Oh, you made me a what?
Here you go.
Oh, thanks, Bryce. Look at this. This is amazing. Hey, why does mine say assistant?
Oh, well, you know, Christie, team hierarchy. Okay, but Christie, seriously, the Commonwealth has 56 countries.
Yep, correct.
But 74 teams compete at the Commonwealth Games.
Also correct.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, that is a perfect place to start.
Today, we're unwrapping what the Commonwealth actually is, how the Commonwealth Games began and grew into the competition we know today, and who will be swimming, sprinting, lifting, and rolling their way through Glasgow 2026. So, grab your running shoes, your swimming goggles, and your lawn bowls. I've got the tracksuits.
And listen carefully, there's a quiz at the end.
What?
So Bryce, you were right that there are 56 countries in the Commonwealth and 74 teams at the Commonwealth Games.
Which sounds a little bit like someone has made a terrible spreadsheet error.
It does, but I think the problem is that we're jumping straight to the Games before answering a much bigger question. What actually is the Commonwealth?
Oh, well, I always thought it was all the countries that Britain used to rule.
And you would be partly right. The Commonwealth roots stretch back to the British Empire, when Britain controlled countries and territories all over the world. And at its biggest, the British Empire covered around a quarter of the world's land.
Whoa, that is enormous. But over time, many of those countries, or British colonies as they were known, decided that they didn't want to be ruled by a king in Britain anymore, and so they became independent. Some fought for independence, others negotiated it, and slowly the British Empire began to disappear.
But some of those newly independent countries, they still wanted to stay connected and to work together, and that's how we eventually got the modern Commonwealth.
Yeah, that's right, a voluntary group of 56 independent countries. And the word independent is important. Britain doesn't run those countries.
Nope, and neither does Australia, Canada, or India. Every Commonwealth country is meant to have an equal voice, even though they're very different sizes.
Yeah, very different. India has more than 1 billion people, that's billion with a B, while the Pacific island nation of Nauru has only around 10,000 people. That's like putting one of the world's biggest countries and a small country with about the population of a country town around the same meeting table.
Pretty much. And altogether, the Commonwealth countries are home to around, get this, 2.7 billion people.
Whoa.
Like, that's almost a third of the world's population.
Wow.
And here's something I didn't realise until we started researching this, Bryce. not every Commonwealth country was once part of the British Empire.
Yeah, that's right, Christie. Mozambique and Rwanda, for example, were never British colonies, but they later chose to join the Commonwealth. So today, it's not just a club for former British colonies. Members agree to work together around shared ideas and goals, including peace, democracy, and improving people's lives. But, Christie, I do have one question.
Yep, go on.
King Charles is head of the Commonwealth. So, does that mean he's in charge?
No, not quite. His role is symbolic, so he can't tell the 56 Commonwealth countries what to do. So no royal message saying, "Good morning, Commonwealth, everyone tidy your desks."
Good to know, because my desk is very messy. Now, can we get to the maths? How do 56 countries turn into 74 teams?
Let's do it. At the Commonwealth Games, some countries and territories compete separately. So an example is at the Olympics, athletes from England, Scotland, Wales all compete together as part of Team Great Britain. But at the Commonwealth Games, England has its own team, so does Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland. They compete separately too. And a number of other territories and islands compete under their own flags, which is how 56 Commonwealth countries can suddenly turn into 74 Commonwealth Games teams.
Aha! Spreadsheet mystery solved.
And how's the independent Republic of Bryce feeling?
Well, now that you ask, it's feeling strong, confident, expanding.
Expanding?
Yeah, I've declared my desk a territory. But Christie, if the Commonwealth grew out of the British Empire, I'm guessing the Games have some British Empire history too. How did they get started, these Commonwealth Games?
How?
Okay, Bryce, the original name of the Commonwealth Games gives us a pretty big clue to how they started. They were the British Empire Games.
Ah, so it started with countries that Britain had colonised.
Yeah, that's right. The first ones were held in Hamilton, in Canada, in 1930. 11 countries sent around 400 athletes to compete, and there were 59 events across just 6 sports. That's tiny compared to the huge sporting events we're used to today.
It sure is. And back then there was no enormous athletes village either. The male athletes were put up at a local school, if you can believe that. About 24 athletes slept in each classroom.
Oh, whoa. Imagine trying to prepare for an international sporting competition while someone from the wrestling team was snoring under the blackboard. And women competed in those first games too.
They sure did, but only in swimming and diving. In fact, there were just 7 women's events in the entire Games back then. So the Games have changed a lot since.
They certainly have. And even the name kept changing as the British Empire disappeared and the Commonwealth evolved.
Okay, hit me.
Okay, so firstly, the British Empire Games.
Yep.
And then the British Empire and Commonwealth Games.
Okay, getting a bit wordy.
The British Commonwealth Games came next.
Okay, yeah, getting warmer.
And finally, from 1978, ta-da, the Commonwealth Games.
Ah, we finally got there.
Yeah, we did. But one of the biggest changes came when para sports, so competitions specifically for people with disabilities, became part of the Games program. And this is something that makes the Commonwealth Games quite different to the Olympics and Paralympics.
Exactly. At the Olympics, the Olympic Games happen first and the Paralympic Games are held afterwards. But at the Commonwealth Games, para events are built into the same games. Same sporting program, same crowds, same medal table.
That's right. So if you're an Australian para swimmer, if you win gold, that medal counts exactly the same towards Australia's total as the able-bodied athletes. And Glasgow 2026 will have a record 47 para sports medals across 6 sports.
But Christie, speaking of Glasgow 2026, weren't those games supposed to be being held in Australia?
Yeah, they certainly were. Victoria had agreed to host them, with events spread across regional cities across the state. But in 2023, the Victorian government suddenly pulled out.
Why?
Money. Money, Bryce, money.
So now I'm guessing the Commonwealth Games organisers had themselves a pretty big problem. Like, who was going to host the Games in 2026?
Oh my gosh, exactly. And eventually, Glasgow in Scotland stepped in. But Glasgow didn't simply pick up Victoria's plans and carry on with them.
Nope, they didn't. These games have been deliberately made much smaller. 10 sports compared with 19 in Birmingham 4 years ago. And all the action will be concentrated in just 4 venues within an 8-mile corridor. So, no giant new sporting city being built. Glasgow is using a much more compact model, but that also means some very big Commonwealth Games sports have missed out. There won't be any hockey, there won't be any rugby sevens, no badminton, diving or cricket either, which is a pretty big deal if you're an athlete in one of those sports.
It absolutely is, and that's one of the big questions hanging over these games. Is Glasgow showing the world a smarter, cheaper way to run a huge sporting event? Or are the Commonwealth Games simply shrinking?
Good question. But before we tackle that, Christie, 10 sports, 74 teams and thousands of athletes. Who should we actually be watching for these 2026 Commonwealth Games?
Who?
All right, Bryce, for Australian fans, one place to start is exactly where we usually do, the swimming pool.
Woohoo! That's right, Christie. Australia is sending a 60-strong swimming and para-swimming team to Glasgow.
Wow.
With some very big names. Molly O'Callaghan, Kyle Chalmers and Cameron McAvoy, just for starters.
And Bryce, did you know Cam McAvoy still has one Commonwealth Games goal left? He's yet to win his first individual gold medal there.
Exactly. He is a world record holder, but he's still chasing that particular Commonwealth gold medal. Then at the other end of the experience scale, there's 14-year-old para-swimmer Mia Hogan.
14, wow.
Yep, she'll compete in visually impaired swimming events.
And I guess that's another reason the Commonwealth Games still matters. For younger athletes, they can be the first taste of a huge international multi-sport event. Big crowds, athletes from around the world, living and competing as part of a national team. Basically, it's a chance to learn how these big games work.
Exactly. Now, over on the athletics track, Olympic silver medalist Jessica Hull will race the mile and the 5,000 metres. And discus star Matt Denny will try to defend the gold medal he won in Birmingham. But Christie, there's one very fast Australian missing from these Commonwealth Games.
Bryce, I'm going to guess you're talking about Gout.
That's right, Australia's teenage sprint sensation was skipping Glasgow to focus on the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Oregon.
That's because it starts just 3 days after the Commonwealth Games finish, so kind of seems fair.
Yeah, Gout and his team decided that racing at both, plus travelling from Scotland to the United States, wasn't the best choice. Even though sadly now he's had an injury that will put him out until the end of the year. But Christie, do you think that means the Commonwealth Games aren't as important anymore?
Ooh, that's a good question, Bryce. I think it depends on who you ask. So for the Diamonds, the Australian Diamonds, the Commonwealth Games are one of netball's biggest stages, and they're chasing back-to-back gold this time.
Yeah, good point. And for para-athletes, Glasgow will have the biggest para-sport program in Commonwealth Games history, and that's not nothing.
And as we said, for younger athletes, it can be a huge stepping stone, a first major games before perhaps an Olympics or a Paralympics later on. And for smaller nations and territories, well, it's a chance to compete on a huge international stage.
So perhaps the question isn't whether the Commonwealth Games should stay exactly the same, maybe it's whether it can keep changing. The Games have changed a lot since 1930, and if they're going to make it to their second century, they may need to keep evolving. And I, for one, can't wait to watch.
Here, well said, Bryce.
Thanks. I think it's the tracksuit. I really feel like a winner. And on that note, Christie, I believe it's time for the quiz.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. How many countries are in the Commonwealth? Is it A, 32, B, 56, or C, 114? Did you say B, 56? You would be correct.
Question number 2. In which city will this year's Commonwealth Games be held? Excellent listening if you knew that the answer is Glasgow in Scotland.
Question number 3. True or false? The Aussie Diamonds are looking to win back-to-back gold medals in basketball at this Commonwealth Games. The answer is false. The Diamonds are, of course, Australia's netball team.
That's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us as we explored the who, what, when, where, why and how of the 2026 Commonwealth Games.
Now get out there and have a most excellent day.
Over and out.